Well, ladies and gentlemen, social media is killing relationships. Yeah, social media is killing relationships. That's what I want to talk about today. Social media is killing relationships. And my next point is there a double standard in relationships? When it comes to men and women, are there different rules or do everything apply or are all the rules apply equally? That's what I want to talk to you about tonight. So stick around and don't go anywhere. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of 2.0. I'm your boy 2.0. I am so happy to be back on your screen. So happy to be back in your house. I appreciate it. Listen, if you're new, you're just strolling by and just came across our videos and wondering what we're all about, I'd like to extend the invitation out to you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button and become part of the 2.0 family. And don't forget to feel free to send this link to anybody that you think is going to find it useful so they can, share it and so they can enjoy the content that we are putting out here. And if you're a returning member, thank you so much for being a part of the 2.0 family. We appreciate you. All right, let's go right into it. Social media is killing relationships. What do I mean by that? We are living in a day and age where we are watching so much content on social media, and we starting to blur the line between reality and what is a show. What do I mean by what is a show? We are blurring the line between reality and what is a show. So when you're watching a video on TikTok or on Instagram and so on and so forth, sometimes we forget that the video is made up. The situation is made up. The content that you're watching is made up. It's like watching a movie, right? When a guy pulls out a gun and shoots somebody in the head in the movie, it's made up. When the director yells cut, the actor gets up and then go home. He didn't die for real, right? So I feel like sometimes when we are watching things on social media, we tend to forget that this is, there's a camera involved. There is a lot of planning involved. There are some scripting, involved in order to create that scene, to create that storyline to present it to you. Oftentimes we are watching other couples online and we are like, yeah, couples goal because we want to do this. We want to be dressing, to the T, just like they dress up every weekend or every day just to go out. They're going out to expensive restaurants. They're driving expensive cars, luxury cars. They're going on exotic vacation and so on and so forth. We've seen pictures and videos of them in private jets. So we are thinking that's our goal. That's where we want to be. Not realizing that there is a camera behind them. That means they had to set it up. That's not reality. So a lot of times we were getting confused because of what we're seeing on social media. And then we were turning around and just imposing those requirements or the same things on our mate, whether it's your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your wife or your husband. And then when they're not able to meet the crazy requirements that we are imposing on them, then we start feeling, what, we deserve better because what, I just saw a video on TikTok. This guy did this for his woman. That guy did that for his woman. So I deserve better. So I'm going to go for that. It's not real, people. We don't understand. It's not real. And, case in point, we have a very famous couple on TikTok by the name of Christy and Desmond, right? They've been doing a lot of skits on social media. They've amassed, millions of followers on TikTok. They have, climbed the ladder of being the top couple that everybody wants to be because every time, they have a video and everybody's posting, they're like, yeah, hashtag couples gold, hashtag gold this, hashtag that's where they want to be. That's how they want to be. But in actuality, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You only seeing them for the 30 seconds or the 45 seconds of the which is the length of the video that they're putting out, where they're lovey-dovey, they're kissing on each other, they're having fun, they're laughing, they're driving in the car, they're whatever it is that they're doing. You only see that, but you don't see the rest of the 24 hours that they're living together, when things are not going well, when issues are happening, when arguments are happening. You don't see all of that. So you're only focusing on the 30 seconds, which is a small fraction of their life as part of a day. That's what you're focusing on, and that's what you're basing your goals on. And then you're turning around, you want to impose that on your husband, impose that on your mate. And now you're wondering why you guys are having issues, because you're putting too much of the requirements on them. So if you're not familiar with Christy and Desmond, I got a couple of videos here that I want to show you so you are familiar with them. So let's go ahead and check it out. And
Christy, are those tongs? Christy! You look like the headless hood rat. The redefines ghetto. This looks like a battery maker roll down.
It looks cute. Maybe if you had a business, you'd know what it takes to run a business. He's literally so rude.
well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Christy and Desmond. Like I said, if you don't know them, feel free to check them out on social media. They're on TikTok and Instagram. So go ahead and check them out. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It is unfair for you guys to base your life, to base your relationship on the small clip, on the fraction of what you're seeing online, right? And again, like I said, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what's going on in their relationship. And case in point, a couple of days ago, it was made public that they actually have decided to file for divorce. Now, I don't know much about them. I didn't do any research about them, but based on some of the videos that I saw, I know that they've been together for a long time. They started dating at a young age, so they've been together for quite some time. Like I said, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what kind of issues that they're facing. You only see when the camera is rolling. And when the camera's rolling, it's nothing but smiles. It's nothing but kisses. It's nothing but hugs and lovey-dovey and flowers and, nice outfits, the luxury cars, the expensive dining, the, exotic trips, and so on and so forth. That's what you see. And that's what you decide to focus your relationship on. And you're saying that is the goal. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't aim to be happy in your relationship. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't aim to have goals to be able to travel someday, to be able to do certain things within your relationship. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I want you to know is what you're seeing on your phone is basically a small movie that is produced, right? They took the time to write the script, to plan it out. They got the cameras set up, and they decided this is what we're going to shoot because this is what we want to put out. So for you to just look at it and, to base your relationship on that, it's going to be crazy. And, unfortunately, it sounds like one of the reasons why they're filing for divorce is because there is, there was an act of infidelity on Desmond's part. Right. And this is what I wanted to talk about. Is there a double standard in a relationship? Right. So before I get started, before you come for me, I do not condone cheating. Right. I'm not encouraging cheating, whether it's the man or the woman. All right. As for me, you guys know my story. As a matter of fact, this is how the 2.0 platform started. Right. I got divorced a couple of years ago, actually five years ago. I got divorced, and it was a result of an act of infidelity on my part. Right. So I was the offender. So I've been there and I know how it feels. I know what it's like to go through something like that, right? So I'm not encouraging it. What I'm saying is there is a double standard, because when it's the guy who commits the act, right? He gets labeled all sorts of name under the sun. He's a deadbeat. He's trash. He's no good. Once a cheater, always cheater. He's a dog. I can't believe he did this. I can't believe he did that. Why would you cheat? Why would this happen? What? All of the stuff that you can possibly think about, that happens, right? But when it's the woman who does it, You wouldn't believe the amount of excuses that, that they come up with to justify it. And not only that, you'll get a whole bunch of other women who comes and rally around her and say, girl, we understand. We know he wasn't treating you right. You had to do what you had to do. He wasn't a good provider. He wasn't emotionally available. He wasn't there for you. He doesn't work, or he works too much. He's never home. He doesn't listen to you. He's not affectionate. You had to do what you had to do. You were trying to find yourself. All kinds of excuses you will come up to justify the reason why that happens, right? Because that's what happens when a female does it. Until this incident with Desmond and Kathy and Christy, it seems like there seems to be a shift that is happening, because it looks like there are a lot of women that are opening their eyes and understanding that, there is more to the act itself, right? Because they're understanding that, listen, there's more that's happening with that, because you don't know what's been happening within their relationship. You don't know what kind of issues they've been having in their relationship. All right. I'm not saying that there is an excuse for him to do what he did. Right. That's not what I'm saying. So, I mean, for me, in my case, like I'm not blaming anybody for what happened. It's something that, I've gone through my time of dealing with what I had to deal. So I had to understand and face the fact that I can't blame anybody for my action. It was my action. It was my decision. I did what I did, and I have to live with the consequences. Right. So I'm not blaming anybody for that. So I have to, I understand the fact that it was my decision. I made that decision. At the same time, there are other circumstances that was happening, that is happening in their relationship that people are not aware of. You don't know the circumstances. So that's why before you jump to conclusion and start calling people name and start saying this and that, you don't know. You don't know. All right. So you have to understand. So that's why I see, some of the women, a lot of women are jumping onto, on the story, and they're actually trying to be a little more understanding and leaning towards Desmond's side a little bit, because they're showing more empathy. They're showing you more understanding. They're showing, I think they're starting to get in touch with their human side again, right? As opposed to calling him all kinds of names, telling him that he's a dog, he should just left, he's no good, he's this and that and blah, blah, blah. Oh, he's jealous of her because she's more popular. She's making more money with the videos and so on and so forth. We don't know. We don't know what's going on. So this is what I'm talking about. It's the double standard that I'm talking about. There is a double standard. So when it comes to the man is always going to be at fault. The man is always going to be the problem. The man is always going to be the issue. But women can do nothing wrong because they are perfect. Yeah. They're perfect. Anyways, again, like I said, this is a tough situation to be in. As I said, I've been, I went through it. I know what it feels like. It's a tough situation to be in, and I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish that on anybody. So anybody who's going through that, who's dealing with that, I just want to tell you, bro, you know what? Hang in there, man. Hang in there. Male or female, it doesn't matter who's the offender. It's not a good situation to be in. It's not an easy situation to be in. It's not a good thing to deal with. The feeling of betrayal, it's not easy to deal with. So I don't wish that on anybody. So I'm just saying this, to encourage people out there who are in relationships to find a way to deal with one another. Find a way to deal with one another. If you're going through the situation, take some time, whether it's with your significant other, just to go away or do something just to separate yourself from from all the noise. Because if there's one thing I know, people are gonna have opinions. They will have opinions about your relationship. So you just need to figure out a way to shut them out and just figure out what it is that you want to do and how you want to move forward with the situation. If you believe in God, take it up to God. Take it before God and let him guide you, let him instruct you on how to move forward. Let him tell you what to do. I'm not saying to leave. I'm not saying to reconcile. I'm not saying either of that. All I'm saying is take it to God and let him guide you. Because listen, marriage is not easy. All right. Marriage is not easy. So there's no sugarcoating that. It's not. So don't think because you see people's relationship on social media and you're thinking, oh my God, why can't my life be just as good or just as easy? It's not. You're only seeing the 45 seconds that they're showing that makes it look easy. That gives you the impression that it is easy, but it's not. It's not. Everything, we have to be intentional with everything that we do. With everything that we do. We have the ability to create to make the relationship that we are in right now the best relationship it could ever be if we are intentional about how we move in it. That's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. Anyways, guys, point of the show is, or the episode today is, do not let social media kill your relationship. Okay? Do not let social media kill your relationship. And we need to move away from the double standard. And like I said, I'm glad to see that there's starting to be a shift with the way we think about things, the way we see things. So I hope, this helps someone today. Again, I hope this helps somebody today. Like I said, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Just hang in there, man, because I can tell you, man, there's nothing out there, man. It's crazy out here for what I hear about, the dating pool and what's happening out. Oh, it's just crazy. So if you can work it out, work it out. All right. And remember, live every day as if it is your last day, because one day it will be. Thanks for watching 2.0. I'll see you next time.